What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about 4 of the biggest fake outs / red herring / whatever you want to call it in the Scream 5 trailer. So we know, and I've covered this in a previous video based off of an interview literally with the directors, that the trailer purposely shows a lot of misdirection. And so we're going to look through, in my opinion, the 4 biggest things that stand out. I'm sure there are plenty more. I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments what you think is kind of purposely included just to kind of throw us off, get us off the wrong direction. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I am going to start with a very quick honorable mention, and I'm only putting it as an honorable mention just because I think a lot of people are on board with this, is that the Tara, beginning scene, right? I feel, and I've said this before, I feel like obviously it is going to be the opening attack. I guess not obviously, but it seems very much like it's the opening attack, and then she survives. That's what I would say. And that's kind of what I want to do for all of these, by the way, is say what I think they were showing us and say kind of what the opposite thing is. So obviously it shows her getting brutally attacked. Now, all of that stuff I feel like is going to make it into the movie. She's going to get sliced. She's going to get picked up. Maybe, he's going to try to do something with her. She seems to almost like headbutt him or push him like away, and then she falls to the ground. She reaches for the door. He pulls her back. He or she, I should say, pulls her back. We see that. We see her scream, and that's where that, I think that's like the first 52 seconds of the trailer. However, later on, we do, and I laugh, not in a sadistic way, but maybe, where he stomps on her leg. So he's definitely going to break her leg. But I do think 100% she survives. It seems like, based off at least what you guys are saying, that very much looks like her in the hospital in the wheelchair. Even if it's not, I do think she's in the hospital. So, and I think that's a big part. Actually, some of you guys have even said, if you look very carefully when Sam is meeting Sydney for what seems like the first time, it does look like she's wheeling somebody like in a wheelchair, and she kind of like lets go and looks to Sydney. So that obviously I think would be Tara. Again, honorable mention because I just think everybody, or most people, kind of think that. Okay, the first big thing that I noticed, and it was actually the very end of the trailer, is the "Hello, Sydney, it's an honor." Now, again, I love that line. I think it's one of the greatest lines ever uttered in Scream history. The sad thing, though, is they're 2 separate lines, and I think it's very, very easy to tell. "Hello, Sydney" definitely sounds like it's over the phone. His voice sounds, and I guess, well, that's like the next part of it. His voice, Roger Jackson's voice, sounds insanely different between the 2 lines. "Hello, Sydney." The Sydney does have, now, I originally thought the "Hello, Sydney" thing could have actually even been a flashback to like the first movie, but the word Sydney at the end of it, he does sound noticeably older, like he would have recorded it now versus 25 years ago. So I do think it's a new version. I think he calls her and says, "Hello, Sydney," etc. And then the "it's an honor" part is way different. And as I've said in past videos, we know Ghostface can talk to people in person now, right? His voice box is almost like a Darth Vader suit where it just kind of almost translates the voice. I think that's 100% in person. Now, here's the deal. Maybe other people have figured that out. Again, we've talked about that in past videos. But the kicker is, I'm actually starting to think it's not even regarding Sydney. When the Ghostface says it's an honor, I don't even think that needs to be towards Sydney. It could, in terms of seeing her in person. It also could very well be 2 different people, right? If Ghostface is, if 2 different people are Ghostface in this movie, maybe one of them does know who Sydney is and the other doesn't. Like, they're just kind of along for the ride. They're playing almost like a Stu kind of situation, but they don't know, any of the original cast, stuff like that. So maybe it's that. Maybe one of them, "Hello, Sydney," and they keep going, and then the other one saying like "it's an honor," like literally, oh my god, it's like it's an honor to meet you. It could be that, so it could mean 2 ghost faces, but again, I don't think it needs to mean they're talking to Sydney. It could be right before a kill, like it's almost an honor to kill you, which could actually be to Dewey. It could be to Gail. It could be to Judy Hicks. It could be to any of them, honestly. Again, it doesn't even have to be used for that purpose. So basically, those 2 lines are different. I think that's very much, not necessarily confirmed, but as close to confirmed as you can get. And I'm starting to even think if it's not even both. Obviously, "Hello, Sydney." You're not going to say that to anybody else. But the second line, I don't even know for sure now if that's going to be towards her or not. The second thing, I'm going to isolate specifically Vince, okay? I'm going to say Vince's quote-unquote death. Now, it's not really a death. They don't show a death. They don't show anybody die in the trailer, which is an important thing to kind of say. But I picked him on purpose just because, Tara, I do think survives. Chad, he could survive that attack. I don't think they showed like the final blow in the trailer, but I do think he'll die. And again, as I've said, like, you can debate me all you want. You can say, well, Alex, they would never show even parts of a kill in a trailer. And as I've said, it is a Scream movie. Whether or not they did or didn't show anything in that trailer, people are gonna die. Like, statistically, only maybe a fourth of the main cast makes it out of a movie alive in any Scream movie. So, like, you can say it, but at the same time, like, if Chad doesn't die there, does it mean he's safe for the entire movie? No. So, again, that's just something to throw in there, but I don't know about him, but I would be willing to bet he's going to die, whereas Vince definitely seems different to me. His actor, as we've talked about on Twitter, has been very weird, uttering stew lines, which is odd, and he's the only one who has done that, which is a little disturbing. And as I've said, it could just be he's making, he's having fun with it. He's been given the okay to do that. Would you allow your actor to out himself as a relative of Stu in this new movie through Twitter? Like, do you think he would get away with that? So, I mean, there's, you can debate one way or the other. But the point is, he doesn't have a last name. We don't know his last name based off the cast. And his attack, quote unquote, is different, in my opinion, than anybody else's. Mindy actually has, when the knife is, she's holding off the knife, she's got like a wound on her shoulder. I think there's blood on her cheek, and the blade has blood on it. So, like, she's been attacked. And, like, again, she could die there or not, it doesn't matter, but she's been attacked. You look at Chad. Chad very much looks very badly injured, and he's going to get more injured, so he's been attacked. You could go to Amber. We'll talk about that in a second, though. But for, Vince, he, like, turns off the car. Ghostface is behind him. It does sound like he gets stabbed in the back, so you could say he does get injured there. But then when he's on then there's another scene where he gets thrown on the ground, right? So I don't know. I just feel like there's something about him. He could be a huge red herring in and of itself, but I think his attack, more than anybody else's, feels the least like powerful in terms of what could happen. Again, it's very easy for like a car alarm to go off or somebody to go outside to see it, to stop it, right? Versus the other one. So I feel like if there's anybody where the scene is going to play out differently than we may think, it's that scene. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Chad, it could play out different ways, but you can kind of imagine where it could go. Vince, there's a lot of ways it could go, in my opinion. The third one is Gale screaming. Now, I know people have pointed this out. Remember, I recorded the trailer breakdown at, I think, 7:05 in the morning. I watched the trailer like 2-3 times, and I was watching it as I was talking, and I had said it looked like Sydney who is holding Gale back. A lot of people have said that it doesn't look like Sydney. It's not the same hairstyle. Fine. But the point I guess I'm making I just want to throw that in just for fun, and you guys can let me know who you think it is, but who is that she's doing that to? Now, again, like, is it Dewey? Obviously, this really is that word. Obviously, the trailer wants you to think it is. That's the whole point. At the same time, could it be somebody else? I know some people really think it's probably Judy Hicks's home, so now we could be looking at Wes. We could be looking at Judy herself. Would Gale do that for Judy? Maybe based off of 4, like, it's possible. I still think like it's going to take something really big, but again, that's a character debate question where it's like, well, does she feel, how much does a fictional character feel about another fictional character? It could be Judy. So I would say, again, the point of the trailer is to make you think it's Dewey, which I think is fine, and I think is exciting and very, very scary, and obviously it puts Dewey in danger multiple times in the trailer, so then when you see the Gale part, it's like, oh shoot, but at the same time, would they show that? Would they show the reaction of one character to Dewey's death in the trailer? Maybe to throw us off. They could kind of do like a double negative thing, right? Or maybe not. Maybe it's Judy. Maybe it's somebody else. The final thing is good old Amber. We talked about her yesterday in a video, and I could not leave it alone. The Amber injury part. So again, red herring, misdirect, fake out, whatever you want to call it. She's injured, again, based off what we can see. She's holding the stomach, walking down from Stu's house. I know some people have pointed out that, like, it's very close to what Billy literally looked like, even his, like, body position in Scream 1. So, again, like, but that's the thing. Do they do that on purpose to make you think it is Billy? Do they do it on purpose to make you think it's Billy just to say, no, actually, it's real. Like, she actually is going to get attacked, and she's maybe going to die afterwards, right? There's a lot, and we talked about it in yesterday's video, a lot of ways it can go. She really could be injured. Ghostface could be right behind her and finish her off. She could escape. She could escape and go with Gale and actually be injured and go to the hospital. She could go with Gale and actually be faking it all and then attack Gale like in the car, which would separate them from Sydney, who we know goes into the house. There's a lot of things that could happen. And again, timing, we just don't know. Like, she's there, but so is Sam, so is Sydney and Gale outside. They hold the gun up to shoot, or Sydney does, but like what's she shooting at? Or is it a warrant? Like, what is it? So there's a lot of confusion really in that. Like, the last like 30 seconds of the trailer, they go through quite a few scenes very, very quickly. So, and I know also, by the way, other people have said they think it's Amber in the Ghostface costume that is being lit on fire. I do want to have an entire video on Ghostface on fire. I feel like there's been enough people asking me for that, so I will do that eventually. But that's another one. I just I'm I guess dealing with the injury part more than the Ghostface on fire part, but I do think there's something there where it's like, again, it can go in a lot of different ways. She could actually very well be injured. That could be a real slice, or it could not. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Any other, misdirections you think are in the trailer? Any other topics you want me to cover? I'm on a roll. I'm loving making these videos. You guys seem to really be enjoying them, and I thank you so, so much for that. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon, all of that stuff. All of my social media is in the description below if you guys want to check it out, and I'll see you all on the next Scream video.